A group of pro-Palestinian activists are filing a lawsuit over the violent protests on the campus of UCLA. The activists say the university failed to protect them from harassment and intimidation.
The group held a news conference on campus this morning. KTLA 5's Karina Winter live now in Westwood with more on their lawsuit. Karine?
Yeah, Glenn, we heard from several students earlier in that news conference announcing this lawsuit. This, of course, tied to the massive protests that occurred on campus last year that led to violence and also numerous arrests. Now, protests that we saw on campus last year, we were seeing those demonstrations from both sides, those who supported Palestine and others who supported Israel. There was a pro-Palestinian encampment set up on campus for days last April. That camp was eventually dismantled. There was a mob scene. Law enforcement teams had to respond, and hundreds of demonstrators were arrested. Plaintiffs claim that there was a violation of their rights and that they should not have been forcibly removed from campus. UCLA is now fighting this lawsuit, claiming that its encampment's actions, it's centered around safety, they say, and also lowering tensions, not discriminating against those who are Jewish. Now, CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and its legal partners brought forth this lawsuit against UCLA. Here's more from one of those plaintiffs.
The university did not care about my voice. For over 10 minutes on June 10th, I and my fellow protesters yelled as loudly as we could, "Let us out! Let us out!" And they still kettled us, threw us to the ground, and arrested us. I haven't forgotten the pinch of the tightly wound plastic on my wrist as I waited on those cold metal bus seats. I couldn't imagine that my pain would ever end. The pain my university decided that I deserved because I chose to speak my mind.
And last August, a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction against UCLA, mandating that the university ensures equal campus access to everyone. It's important to note here that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, filed court documents supporting Jewish students in their ongoing lawsuit against UCLA. They're alleging anti-Semitism, and in response to that, well, the new chancellor, and again, this was just last week, announced an initiative to combat anti-Semitism, saying that they'll work to counter hatred and injustice in all forms, and that it has no place at UCLA. So you can see lots of legal action on both sides of this issue. That lawsuit being announced earlier today. We reached out to UCLA for comment. We're still waiting on a response. That's the latest here in Westwood. Karine Winter, KTLA 5 News. Lou and Glenn.
All right, thank you, Karine.